What's up, military millionaires? Today's Angry Marine rant is all about the media, so stay tuned because you're going to want to see this. If you've been around my platform long enough, you've probably heard me talk about turning the TV off or the media or social media or whatever, but here's the thing. If you haven't picked up on it yet, I want to just break down something for you. Here's how the media works, right? The media, in all their glory, they win by you watching their shows and you watching their ads. If you don't watch their content and you don't watch their advertisements, then their advertisers pull their money and the media does not make money. That simple. So the media's goal is less about portraying the news and more about getting you to watch. Now, yes, they do portray the news. That's what they do to get out there to get you to pay attention because, we've come up in this world where you have to watch the news. Oh my God. So they get you to watch the news, but they do it in a way that I do not like. Here's the thing. Psychologically, the two strongest human emotions are love and kindness. Now, if you call bullshit, then there's a very good reason for that. It's fear and anger. Yeah, that's right, fear and anger. Think about it. Think back to a time when you were scared, right? Like, being happy is wonderful, but the moment you have that, like the real, oh shit, that fear, when you pucker and you think you're gonna die, like that fight or flight fear, that is a very, very strong emotion on that level. Now, on a smaller level, fear-mongering and fear, it definitely works, but the fight or flight thing is a very real part of our brain. We can't control that. It's legit. Now, the other side to that, anger. Now, love is very powerful, but think about a time when you had a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I'm a guy, so we'll use a girlfriend, and someone was hitting on her, or someone was rude to her, or you just you got broken up, or whatever, right? And it was just not a good situation. Now, let's say a guy smacks your girl on the butt. Do you have an overwhelming sense of love and affection for your girl, and that causes you to have this noble reaction to pounce on over and say, howdy partner, I don't appreciate that? Or do you turn freaking red and you get pissed and you just go out for blood? Yeah, right, exactly. Anger. Which of those two emotions was stronger, love or anger? Now, I'm all about love overcomes all this stuff, and I think you need to show love, and love is a very powerful emotion. The problem is, good luck with the news. If the news was to come on and try to get you to fall in love with it, they would fail. Or get you to be in love with everything they said, they would fail. That's not easy, right? Rom-coms and romantics movies and all this other stuff, they struggle to get, it's just not the same. Now, anger, they can definitely get you to feel some anger, and they can definitely get you to feel some fear. All you gotta do is watch the news these days. You turn it on. I'll tell you what, we have a TV that sits in my office, and it sits behind me, and it's kind of new. We didn't used to have it. I actually preferred when we didn't have it, but now we do, and I refuse to let it be turned on because I don't want to hear it. But even still, people come up and they watch it, and I turn around and see stuff, or people point stuff out and I see stuff, or whatever, because anytime something's interesting, it's better than working, so they want to watch TV. It is super productive, let me tell you. But look, I can tell when I've been around a TV all day. It's almost like being dirty and cringy. It's emotionally distraught. It pulls on your emotion. It gets you emotional. It's hard to notice if you watch TV all the time, because you're going to think things are wrong, and there's fear, and there's anger, and there's this, and there's that. But it's the TV. Turn the TV off. Here's a prime example. In early 2020, we had COVID, coronavirus, whatever, right? What did the media do? Fear. It was very quick that people went from oh no, I would never let the government track me, to, oh yeah, I'd have a contact tracing app if it meant that I could be whatever. Or fear to go outside, or fear to go outside without a mask, or fear for this, or fear for that. Whether it was legit or not is not the debate here, but fear changed America like that. Businesses closed forever, just crazy stuff was going on. And it was all because of fear. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago, there's the George Floyd incident, and what is the media doing? anger, right? Those are the two emotions. There's anger and hate everywhere. Now, this is not about that incident. And this is not saying by any means that what happened in that incident was right. It's also not saying that a lot of the reactions were right. The thing that I'm saying is I have seen a lot of very peaceful protests. I have heard very little about them on the news. I have yet to see a riot, but I have heard a lot about them on the news. Ask yourself the same things, right? Did I see a lot of COVID? No. But I heard about it all over the news. The death count was everywhere, all this stuff. I've learned over the years, there was a time when I felt guilty for not staying up on the news enough. And then I read, I think it was actually this book, I want to say the first time I ever saw it, 4-Hour Workweek, that talks about not watching the news. And there's several other books that talk about this. And basically, turn it off. Just turn it off. I promise you that you will know what you need to know about life from other people. If something huge happens, you'll know about it. I promise you would have heard about coronavirus or George Floyd without a TV on. You probably would have heard about the SpaceX launching 2 American astronauts to the moon. That got much less media coverage because that doesn't play to any of those things, but that was incredible, and that's something we did last month. And you would have heard about that most likely without the TV. So what I want to say with this rant, which is not really a rant, more of an educational point, is look, I challenge you to turn the TV off for the entire week. Now, that's not to say stay away from the news. Get your news, but maybe you read it, right? That's a very valid reason. There's less emotion there. You're reading it through a blog, you're reading it through maybe not CNN or Fox, but maybe even BBC, like a British news source, or some other places that are less inclined to spread emotion and more factual, right? I mean, I don't know, maybe, I don't even know, maybe that police report's available. You could read that, like, I have no idea. But do some reading and read your news if you want to get your news, or subscribe to I like the Morning Brew, it's a news email letter. It's like market points and some stuff about current events. Much more objective than most news sources. Seems fairly accurate, seems somewhat unbiased. It's decent. I'm a fan. I need to leave a link down below so you guys can subscribe to that if you want to check it out. But that's I like that. Every day I get a little dose of news, a little dose of the economy, a little dose of this, that, and the other, and it's fairly objective. Try reading. I know newspapers are hard to find. Try reading it online on like a Tribune or whatever. Try reading your news. Try just turning it off and just staying away from it. Now, as for social media, I'm not going to tell you to leave social media because that'd be kind of counterproductive to me building social media presence. But I will say, if you see people who are regularly like super just negative, like almost troll level, where there's like nothing that actually appeases them, like they're just mad all the time, I would suggest just unfollowing them on Facebook. Like you can unfollow, which just means you don't see their stuff unless maybe they tag you or something, but you're not unfriended. You can still see some of their stuff. And I don't think there's anything wrong with blocking people that are just negative like that all the time, just spread hate and discontent on their social media. Don't follow that stuff. Follow things that align with your goals and your views and your morals, and create a bubble around yourself. I'm not saying to censor yourself from life, but create a positive, uplifting environment for yourself. And don't get carried away in the anger and the fear. Try to recognize it. When you feel your heart, starting to beat out of your chest when you're watching stuff and you can tell that you're getting pissed, ask yourself if it's legit or if it's the media, right? Try to look at it from both sides. Because right now, if you were to turn on Fox and CNN telling the exact same story, both of them would be saying something completely different. And if you believe this one, you'd say this one was lying. If you believe this one, you'd say this one was lying. If you look at it objectively, you'd be super confused, which is what the world outside of the US does. So this is my words of advice right now. I challenge you to just turn the media off for a week. You'll get your news, I promise. I know it's a little weird. See how you feel. I'd love if you commented down below how you felt after doing that. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you think I'm wrong, let me know. But I'm not saying to be ignorant by any means. I've been much more educated over the last 3 years, reading books and reading my own self-education than I ever was when I was watching the news. So I'm far from saying to not be educated. And I'm far from saying to be ignorant. And I'm definitely not saying to hate other people or be angry or whatever, or to ignore the issues. But focus on, as I said in my last week's video, being uplifting. Focus on being positive. Focus on being that good influence to others and supporting good causes, much more than you focus on tearing others down. Focus on uniting and being a uniting front, not the negative. Don't be a crab in a bucket. Now, there was a video I made months ago about that, but crabs will always pull each other down in the bucket. You don't need a lid on crabs because they won't let each other escape. So don't be one of the crabs in a bucket. Focus on being positive and a good influence in your life. That's all I have for today. If you got anything out of this, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. I think this is a good message that needs to get out to a lot of people. I really genuinely think turning the TV off for a week would help a lot of people. And I'm not saying, again, to avoid this whole situation, just guard your emotions. Think logically. Things go much better. Have a great day.